Hey, welcome to the Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Drew.
I'm Cam.
And today, if you like mafia, Italian suits, and, well, cocaine, you're going to love this movie because we're talking about the 1990 film Goodfellas. We have a very special guest, Nile Hill.
Hi, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm a grad student here. I'm on the football team. I like movies, especially mob movies. So once you guys presented the idea of coming on the show, I was excited. So
The facts, man. Why do you like mafia movies?
I don't know. It's just something about like how these dudes really like live. Like it's like they really did stuff, and they had like a hierarchy, the boss, and then they had the 5 families. Lucky Luciano, and it goes back to Italy, all this type of stuff. Like it's pretty, like it's just cool. Like that really happened. Like, it's great.
You ever thought about joining one?
Nah, I actually, when I'm watching the movies, my mom always like, you better not, don't look at them too hard. They don't like that.
It's hard not to, man.
Yeah.
They make it seem so cool.
Until it's not. And then,
Until you get to the end and like,
Until you're in the witness protection room.
Yeah, exactly.
on everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, that's funny. Well, not funny, but that's like what this movie is about, because it's about Henry Hill. And he basically was a mafia member. That was a weird way of saying that. He was a mobster.
He was a made man.
I said it like it was a country club. But he couldn't be made.
Yeah, because he wasn't
fully Italian.
right.
Yeah, it basically covers his, I guess, like whole life until he got put in witness protection program because he ratted out on his friends because of cocaine. He got caught for. There's a lot. And this movie, I guess I'll just jump into kind of like why I like it so much. And I think I like it because it's only 2.5 hours, and it feels like there's so much that goes on with it. I feel like you watch every aspect of his life in like a 2.5 hour span. Even though like 3.5 hour movies come out, or even 2.5 hour movies come out now, and you're like, get going.
Yeah.
But I really think that the acting and just the over the top, kind of like the whip pans, the cinematography really helps this movie kind of transition into different parts of his life. That's kind of my main takeaway of it. What do you think, Kim?
Man, I don't think this was the first mafia movie I watched. I think the first one I watched was The Irishman. I know I started getting into. I know I always loved movies, but like when I really knew like I could make a career out of it. But when I really got into like the art of like cinema, that sounds so like cliche, pretentious.
The art of cinema.
Yeah, man. When I really started messing with movies, it was during COVID, and I think the first one was The Irishman. And at that point, they're already like super old, so you don't get the whole. And in that movie, everyone was saying how stiff they move, which was true. So I went back and like watched all of Scorsese's mafia stuff, and I don't know. Goodfellas was I think that was one of the first when I watched after The Irishman. But I don't know. It was a good story. At that time, I was like really getting into everything like mafia related because the music I started listening to changed. I started listening to like, Griselda.
No.
Yeah, Griselda.
I've heard the name.
Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun. Yeah, them. So that was around the same time. So I'm like, man, this sounds super cool. They're just like some dudes. They're guys from New York that like rap about cocaine and stuff.
Nas, a lot of his songs, he raps about like mafia and stuff.
Yes, and Jay-Z, M too. Yeah. So
True, Jay-Z.
That whole thing kind of meshed together. But Henry Hill was already a good name. I don't know, it just sounded cool. Henry Hill. So and I got all the references in the music, and it kind of intertwined. And I thought that was like a really good connection. So hearing that through music and then going back and finding out where it all came from, that was that. I don't know. That's my story with it. Niall,
What did you think of it?
The Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome, man. I like all the actors they got. Scorsese put them together and stuff like that, and I really like the whole story and really everything about it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it was my first mob movie, Goodfellas. I think. Like I said, I've seen The Irishman. After that, I've seen all the Scorsese. Like, have you ever seen The Departed?
I have. Leo? Yeah.
That's Scorsese, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
We have not.
We talked about Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
That's what it was.
That's the one I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of like mafia movies, what aspect of it do you like so much?
I like the hierarchy. Like I like the boss telling everybody what to do, and people are trying to get made, and some, like you said, some people can't get made because of their
Heritage,
their lineage, stuff like that. So I just think all that stuff is just pretty cool. And at the end, it always ends the same way.
It does, yeah. I think it always. And so I like the aspect, because I think in all the aspect of like the mob movies, it's always someone who kills someone who's like already made, higher up on the hierarchy, and then it's always like everyone adapting to that. Like in this movie, does the same thing because Joe Pesci's character Tommy, who is just, I think he was nominated for an Oscar for this movie. I think he won an Oscar for this movie.
He had like a really short speech. I think I remember
Thank
that.
you. It was just thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
He didn't. I don't think he expected to win or something like that.
No, and he didn't prepare anything. He just went and said thank you, which honestly was a lot more. Like people remembered that a lot more because he didn't say anything.
You give a performance like that, you think you'd have something to say, but
yeah, exactly. What do you guys think of his character as a whole?
I thought he was. I feel like Joe Pesci kind of plays the same type of mob kind of thing, except for the Irishman. The Irishman, he was more.
That's true.
But I enjoy his character a lot. I actually read that the real Tommy DeSimone, whatever his last name, was actually a taller type of dude, but they just had Joe Pesci play him, and they were wondering like, why does the real guy act like the Napoleon syndrome type?
Yeah, I wonder, like, Henry Hill basically helped with the script for this movie. Like, he oversaw like the thing because it was about his life. Because it was from a book, I believe, called
Wise Guys.
Yes, Wise Guys. And I can imagine that he probably locked his doors a lot more after this movie because they had to have been mad. Because I don't know when he went into witness protection program. It was not long before this movie came out. I think it was like late 80s, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do know that.
Because it says it at the end.
Yeah.
I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I feel like that's kind of bold to like give it to because that's like a big thing in all these mob movies. Like all these producers want these mob movies and there's real life stories. And they're like, if you do that, you're basically dead.
Yeah.
So I find that, like in Sopranos, they do that, and I think that's really interesting. And with Henry Hill, what do we think of like Ray Liotta's character?
I don't know. I think it was a good choice. Was this kind of like his start to Mafia?
I think it was a start to Mafia. I don't even know what he was in before this, because like I see him in like bit parts every now and then in new stuff. Well, he died last year.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I think this is like his biggest movie.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his what do you call it, filmography now, and he's not like in a bunch of stuff.
It's like all bit parts or side characters and everything.
He was in Cocaine Bear.
Jeez.
Was he really?
Yeah, I guess he
must have filmed it.
He made a lot of movies before he died because I keep seeing him in new stuff.
Did you guys see the Sopranos prequel?
The Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah,
I saw
Ray
that.
Liotta was in that.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was disappointing.
So was John Berthal, I think, was in that movie, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was Tony's dad.
Yeah,
but yeah, he was I think it was a good casting choice. I liked his acting because he seemed like so eager to like level up throughout.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know if it was just like the way they made him seem on script, or just that was like his character. I don't know how in depth he got in with his character, but whatever he did, I think he did a job.
Yeah, well, I think that his character and like into Robert De Niro's character, it feels like all three of them. Like Robert De Niro's like this very experienced, like very knowing everything, very level-headed guy. Ray Liotta serves as kind of the nice middleman between him and Tommy, because Tommy's just doing whatever he wants. And at a point, I also got annoyed with Tommy after a while because it's like, dude, just like it's not like that part where he's like funny how part.
That part, you know,
I liked it, but like it just gives me kind of like social anxiety because I'm like, dude, if this was me, I'd just be like, whatever. And Ray Liotta's like laughing at the end. It's the most over the top laugh where he's like, oh my god.
It's iconic though.
It is iconic, but
funny how.
It's a good performance. I think that's his character. You're supposed to kind of be on edge every time he's on screen, but also like when he does spoiler die at the end, you're kind of like, I'm not really upset because he deserved it. Like he kind of was a kind of a.
You can curse, man. We'll believe it.
Kind of a. I mean, like if we're being real, like he was just kind of a douche, and he kind of got what he deserved. I'm not saying like killing someone is like cool, but like in terms of the hierarchy of the mafia, I don't know why anybody expected anything else. But
I think it goes with that. Like the loudest one in the room is kind of the weakest thing. So the weakest one to get out of here first. So I think it went well with that.
That was a cool scene though when he did like get like whacked basically because you're thinking like, oh, he's gonna get made, and you're kind of like. You always, because he killed, what's his name? Billy Batts at the beginning. And, like, it says, like, like, it was a big thing because he was a made guy. But you don't hear about it for a while. And then when it's like, oh, he's getting made, you kind of forget unless you're, like, paying hardcore attention. And you're kind of like, where's this going? And so when he walks into the room expecting, like, a whole party or people being there, there's no one there. And it just cuts right back to him, shot in the head, dead. I feel like it was a really cool, that was kind of creepy. It's a little creepy because they're trying to, like, Like they just look at him on the ground. It's like an empty room. I just think the look of it was pretty shocking when I first watched it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Ray Liotta's his casting?
I thought it was awesome, man. I think that might have been the movie that put him on, probably like his big break or something.
Yeah.
Like that. But I really like the scene where he's where Karen comes and is like, this dude was touching.
Yeah,
me.
Yeah.
He gets out the car and does that little walk.
Oh my gosh.
Pistol whips.
A lot. Like 7 times. I'm just like,
that was a good.
And the
scene.
guys are just sitting there with their like beers and there's
Don't shoot.
yeah, then like shaking. He just walks away and she was like impressed to say the least.
And then, he gave her the gun.
Yeah.
That turned me on.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. I guess since we're talking about casting, I guess something to mention is like if you're a fan of Sopranos, this
I was just gonna
movie
say that.
is full of people from the Sopranos in like all bit parts except for Karen because she's the therapist in Sopranos. But like you got Michael Imperioli as Spider. You have the guy who played Paulie.
Ollie Walnuts. Yeah, Tony Sirico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other ones.
He played Pussy.
Oh yeah, he's
What's his name? Vincent.
Yeah.
Vincent Pastor.
Yeah,
Pastor.
Pastor. Yeah.
Excuse me.
yeah, and like I don't know, it's cool to see those people kind of even if they're not in it a lot, like they're just in it a little bit. It kind of shows that while they're making Sopranos, they kind of have like the little mob
Overlaps. Yeah. I think that's cool that they all blend into the same universe kind of thing because they're not that different
That's
from
how
each other.
that's how Martin Scorsese is with all his movies. Like Robert De Niro's in almost all of his movies.
Him or Leo, yeah.
Leo, yeah.
Yeah, did he direct Casino?
He did.
Okay, so Joe Pesci was in that one too, and The Irishman. But I'm surprised Ray Liotta wasn't in more of his mafia movies.
Yeah. Actually, I knew that for The Sopranos, Ray Liotta was the first choice to be Tony Soprano.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's hard to beat
James.
Yeah, dude. Because I think a fat dude. Let me not say that.
Wow.
Wow. Let me.
He was skinny in the first season.
He was. He was a little
skinnier.
He was a little.
You gotta see him age and get a little bigger. every
Yeah.
season.
But I think a bigger. What's the right word for that?
More intimidating, like, because he's like taller than everybody else. So
Yeah, I think he was like 6'3" in real life.
Yeah.
I might be lying, but I don't know. But I think like a bigger dude playing that role was good because because he was a dad too, so you don't want like I don't think he had that like kind of like authority figure because I don't know, you don't want like some skinny short dude taking directions from.
Yeah, exactly. And even Samuel L. Jackson's in this movie,
He is.
which this was before Pulp Fiction, and I don't even know. Like when I first watched it, I'm just like, oh, it's the guy who was supposed to do the truck and he got shot, and then I'm watching it. And it's like that's Samuel L. Jackson. That's so weird to think that he's in this big movie.
Sammy J.
And he has like
looks so young.
yeah, exactly.
But even him being young, he's still like balling.
He was when Pulp Fiction, which was 1994, or 4 years after this movie. I think he was like 43.
Really?
Yeah, so like he didn't get his big break until like well into his like midlife. So it's crazy. What do you think, Nile, of Robert De Niro's character?
Jimmy. Right, that was his name, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Or is it-
yeah.
Jimmy. Yeah, I like Jimmy a lot. I thought it was pretty cool how they introduced him. Was like I remember them saying he's like the guy that votes for the bad dudes in the movies and stuff like that, and he's robbing the trucks,
Pays everyone off.
paying everybody out. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I like how Scorsese introduced like all the characters. Like even when Ray Liotta, he's in the restaurant that they eventually burned down, but he's like talking about all the guys. Like he's like, here's a Nicky 2 times, here's blah blah blah. They just panning through the whole restaurant.
Yeah, that long take.
And everybody, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I think it's funny that from the beginning when Henry and Tommy are like kids, and then like when they're adults, literally all they did was change his hair. They just dyed it gray, and it's like, but it works because like I guess it's just the Robert Downey Jr. effect. At least that time he looked like that for like 25 years. But like you said, the moving shots through all the characters. That one take where they're in the restaurant, where they're him and Karen are going on like that little like date, and they walk into the kitchen. It's
They
like
go to the bag. Yeah.
it's like a whole one take,
One take.
and I can't even imagine how like much planning that took to make it look like a working kitchen, working restaurant, and because you got people coming in with the lamps right when they sit down. Like
that was pretty cool.
Was that a one take, Cam? Do you think that was just a first try that they did?
Hey
that?
man, I always thought like one take were super impressive because
I tried one before, and
you did do one in 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I always thought like one takes were pretty cool. Because especially the movies that are shot like Birdman and what's the other one? There's a cooking movie I watched. I forgot the name. It was kind of like low budget thingy, but I don't know, to have all that plan just to like a 1 minute shot, because it sounds so small. Like, let the camera record for a minute, but
when you're moving,
there's so many different factors. You got people behind you, behind the camera. You got the lights. You got the big dumb camera alone, and you got the actors trying to do a good job. I think they did that in The Wolf of Wall Street, somewhere over there, when he was coming into the office, and when one in the office, and then went at his house. I think it's on the quote when he was talking, telling all the drugs that he took over. I think that was the one take, him going through his house and then dumping out the champagne or whatever. But yeah, one things are always like super dope to me.
And it's also most times like directors just do it just to show off.
Yeah.
But I think this one works because it kind of shows that Henry knows everyone, that he's so into the life that he could just walk in and get a table and it's like nothing. You know what I mean? Especially at this like busy place. And I guess I'll ask you guys, and I'll say my opinion, I'll ask you guys. I think the film does a great job of showing you the luxury that comes with the mafia while also sprinkling in those things like, oh, this is not great. Oh, this is not, like, you're constantly under the police's watch. You're getting bugged all the time. They're always watching your, like, what you buy and everything. And especially after the bank heist, that's when, like, Robert Downey Jr.'s character gets very on edge. Mm-hmm. And I just think it does a great job of gradually, at the beginning, it's like paradise. They, like, everyone's a big family. Everyone takes care of each other. You get paid, everything. And then as you get by and Henry has his drug problem, it just slowly gets more and more tense. And you're like, oh, this family would kill them without even thinking.
Yeah.
And what did you guys think of that aspect of the film, like how it progressed?
You go first.
What's the question?
Sorry, that was a lot. I was saying, like, how do you think, like, from it starting luxurious and then, like, kind of moving?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how it ends. What'd you think of the progression of that?
I think it's pretty cool to really like highlight it because you don't want to glorify the life too much without showing the bad things that come with it. But I think that's what the life is all about. The living high, but also like having to watch your back everywhere you go. Make sure you do the right things and follow the rules. Because if you don't follow the rules, then you end up like Tommy. So I think it's pretty cool how they did that, and they really just showed the rise and then the fall of it all.
Yeah,
and it also shows like people can smile in your face, but behind your back, like I think Jimmy was gonna kill Karen, the wife. Remember when?
I want to talk about that scene because that was an interesting scene.
I was like, that was a little messed up.
It was a little. Well, like when she's walking down that sidewalk and everything.
Yeah, and he's like, go in there. Yeah,
yeah, he's over going like.
I was talking to Joe. Before, and he said that's when he thought he was gonna whack her.
It's a very especially since she like walks up and he's like very like go in there, it's fine. He walks in like there's like people like in the shadows like moving stuff, and as soon as like they just stare at her, and I don't know if you noticed, but when she drives away, there's a like little not Easter egg but a little thing that says like don't go that way. Like it's a little like yeah, like it's pointing away from the building and it's saying like don't go, or pointing towards the building saying like don't turn this way or something like that. And so just a little Easter, like a little thing to show like, oh, if she would have in there, she would have died. And I think that's probably like the best aspect of the movie is when, because Tommy's dead and Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Robert De Niro is kind of like the only friend Ray Liotta's character has. And so when you realize like, oh, he was trying to kill him, it's like they're on their own, Karen and him. And like it's either witness protection or they're dead. And I thought that was really interesting. What do you think of that scene? When Robert De Niro's telling her to go into that store on the sidewalk.
Think back. I know when I watched it, I didn't think too much about it, probably because I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it when during COVID, so I didn't have like as much about like the foreshadowing aspects and Easter egg and whatnot. But honestly, I can't say too much about it because I didn't think too much about it at the time.
Yeah.
But going off what you said, well, you can go.
No, yeah, I just think it's kind of like an eerie part of it's an eerie scene because it's never flat out like, oh, he was going to kill her. But when you see him, like how mad he is that she didn't go in, because they're kind of like loose ends at this point, her and Henry, they're like, the police are kind of like on their backs and he knows it. Because after the bank robbery, everything just blows up.
Yeah, he was already clipping people.
Yeah. The one guy with the wig.
Yeah,
the afro.
You're
talking
who owned the like.
He was kept asking for his money.
Yeah. And it's messed up. Like they're talking to him like 5 minutes before, and they go in, they just kill him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I do think what you said was interesting. How you said they don't glorify the whole thing, because I think that's like such an easy way to get like to want to be a part of it. You see these big name actors. You see the money, you see the chain, you see the all the luxuries with it. And you know, we were just talking about it like, would you ever want to be in the mafia, jokingly, but like I'm sure at the time some, you know, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid like, oh man, I want to get a diamond pinky ring and have the big chains and the suits and stuff. So, and at the beginning, you know, you see him growing up and like him showing his mom. What's his mom when he came in with the suit?
What was his mom's name?
No. Like when he came out at the beginning.
Yeah, he's like, look at my shoes. He looked like a
Yeah, like I'm sure some kid probably thought, oh, he got out of this school. So I think you saying like this is a way to not glorify it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting that even in the end, after he like rats his friends out, he's happy to be alive, but he hates that he can't be in the life anymore. And I feel like that's a pretty interesting way to end it. Like if normal people would think like, oh, he's like, oh, thank God I did this, but he hates it. He hates living in suburban life because he's lived his entire life in like, I don't know what's the setting. It's a set in like
It's in New York, and like the city, Brooklyn probably.
Yeah, he's just like luxurious cars and everything. Now he's resorted to just regular suburban life, and I just think it's really interesting. What'd you guys think? Because to me, when they robbed the bank and there was like this historic bank robbery, that's when I really liked the movie. I feel like it really picks up because simultaneously with that, he's starting his drug problem. It feels like the plot, the like pacing just like goes very quick when he's getting like followed by the helicopters.
I did like that.
That was a good scene.
I thought when I first saw it, I thought he was just seeing stuff because he was so coked up.
Yeah.
So I was like, ain't no way to follow him like that.
Yeah.
Come to find out that they had more surveillance and stuff.
Yeah, and the girl that he's trying to make dinner for his family, and then his relative is like, I need my hat.
He goes out,
and I'm like, she was so annoying.
Yeah, the babysitter.
Yeah, she's like, I can't go anywhere. I'm not leaving without my hat. He goes, okay, and then just gets in the car and drives off. I really like that part, especially because it's one day and they're going.
It's a crazy day.
Yeah, they're going everywhere. They're buying guns.
You know something's gonna happen because I remember like before that scene started, they're like 6:55 a.m. So you know like that day is gonna be eventful. After, you know.
Yeah, it's a crazy change of like pacing, especially in that regard. I'm trying to think. I think another scene that was actually really cool that I didn't appreciate when I first watched it, but it's at the end when he's in his trial and everyone's like still and he's the only one that moves. And when I first watched it when I was like 13, I was like, wait, why is he moving? Like, why is he just jumping out of like his little seat? And then I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool because he's like talking to the audience while it's like time stood still. I think that was an interesting choice by Scorsese. Yeah. What'd you guys think of the camera work of this movie?
Like you guys said, I think the one shots, the one takes, I thought those were pretty cool that they tried to implement. Whenever they do those shots, I try to see where they cut it because I'll be like, no way they can just one shot this whole thing. So they gotta implement some cuts. Maybe like somebody walks by and it's like, oh, that's a cut right there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty cool. I like how Scorsese, like, I think in all his movies he has a certain shot where he's shooting somebody and then he like pauses it and like that's in the beginning where he's like, I've always wanted to be a gangster. Yeah. He goes back to his childhood because they paused it on him opening the trunk. You know, mm-hmm. So I look for those shots in the Scorsese movies. But I thought it was pretty cool. And like you said at the end when he gets up and walks and everybody just stands still, he's talking to the audience. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And I know he had a couple of narrators during the movie as well. It wasn't just Ray Liotta. It was also Karen and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of the choices that he made were pretty cool.
What'd you think, Cam?
I say like. I'm looking at the
shots of the movie.
Yeah, and there was always one he always had the iconic like Joe Pesci sticking the gun at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that was pretty cool. And then we had Ray Liotta looking outside right before he went inside the house. Mm-hmm. That was another good shot. But what was interesting was there's a shot, I'll put it on the camera during editing, but like having a shot like this.
Oh yeah, when they're digging up.
Yeah. And I don't know, you wouldn't expect something so. I guess like
it strikes your eye.
Because this is not the type of movie for that. You know, you're used to I don't know. I'd just be used to typical people shot, not like something like messing with the lighting and stuff. And I know they had like some smoke detector or whatever to get this across. But I don't know. It seems like something out of 2001.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of cinematic shots rather than just like
just a boring bland old tie suits and whatnot. But overall, I think it was good. I think he's kind of like an underrated cinematographer.
He is.
Or director.
He is. Like, I feel like people just know him for mob movies.
Yeah.
Like, being able, like, all these big actors. But, like, even in, like, Shutter Island, a lot of the camera shots in that were really cool.
Shutter
I
Island.
love that.
Right
I
there.
love that movie.
And I forget that he directs that movie. That's so out of his wheelhouse.
I think that's his least favorite movie he directed.
Really,
I think he said that. I don't think he likes talking about it.
it's amazing.
It is. I don't know why.
You gotta watch it a couple of times to really.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did. I watched it like at least. I think I watched it 3 times.
That's
But,
crazy.
Yeah, he's I don't know. He's like you said, he's only pretty much known for his directing. But I watched an interview with him, and he was just emphasizing how important detail is. And with his latest movie, Kills of the Flower Moon, he was talking about how each shot needs to look a certain way and how he pays attention to each edit and each cut, which is really impressive. And because that movie's like, was it like 3.5 hours long?
Yeah,
So to pay attention to each cut,
it's exhausting.
dude,
Exhausting.
you gotta. I'm sure he's right behind the editor's shoulder, like, I want you to
Breathing down his neck.
yeah, like cut it a millisecond before, like make sure this one doesn't stretch too long and stuff like that. And I wonder if he's like, it's maybe like a kind of I guess obscure question because we're just talking about specifics now. But did you notice anything with like sound design? I don't think I saw anything really.
I think the music they used really, I know I've said it like 1,000 times, but like when he like is doing cocaine, it's like the music ramps up and it just kind of shows that like chaotic lifestyle.
Yeah.
But then it also shows kind of the more chill like music when they're in like those restaurants. And it makes it seem like it's this classy, very well, like, everybody's a cool guy. But then when like stuff goes wrong, like when Tommy kills Billy Bats, it's like the music cranks up while Henry closes the door and he's like punching a pistol whipping him until he's like dead.
Yeah.
And I just think the use of that like music that was appropriate for the time was really cool. I think he used it really well. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I actually, my first time watching it, like some of those songs are like the 1950s songs that they got like the boy band groups and just singing and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I gotta add something.
Yeah, I did too. I listen to Rags to Riches somewhat often. I like that. But I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that was good. Now, I just like you said, some of those songs like, hey, look-y a bop.
Yeah.
Look-y, listen to this.
But yeah, I think like how they emphasize, everyone used the same kind of punch sound effects. So when he was doing the pistol whipping, it's like the same stuff. So I don't know. Other than that, I didn't really notice anything too deep.
No, yeah, because we were seeing the shot where they're like digging that thing. What a great way to start the movie! I feel like
Yeah.
they're just driving. You're wondering who these people are, and all of a sudden they hear a knock in the trunk, and you're like,
I love that
boy.
intro.
It sums up perfectly what we're getting into. I feel like
Sure.
because it's not even like they're like, what the heck is that? And then they open it, and they don't even look phased when it's like up. We're like. But they're like just whatever. They're whatever.
That Billy Bats was in The Sopranos too.
He was, yes. That's the other person I was trying to think of. Yes.
What is it?
I
That's what he's with New York.
Oh my god.
The New York mob.
I literally know his name, but I just can't. Phil. Yeah, has the best head of hair
Yeah.
in any of these movies.
You guys are good with names. I don't remember anyone from The Sopranos. I haven't watched The Sopranos in like 2 years though.
Yeah.
What's up? You watched it this summer.
I watched it with some. Yeah.
Okay, you're rewatching it now, so yeah, I feel out the loop. I know who was in it, but I don't know the names off the top.
A little fun fact: after they dig up Billy Bats' body and they go to Tommy's mom's house, that is Martin Scorsese's mom.
I knew that.
Yeah, did you know that?
I knew that.
Yeah.
His dad is in it too.
His dad?
Yeah, his dad is who is his dad? I don't remember right now, but I know his dad is in it too.
Another fun fact, man.
There you go.
And I saw that his mom and dad, Scorsese, feel like only they can iron collars correctly.
Really?
So everyone's collar in the movie, it was ironed by
Really?
his parents.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, give it
Oh, there you go.
the facts, man.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Like, because from what I saw a little like snippet on TikTok where he was talking about his mom's part in that movie, and like she's just ad-libbing the whole time.
Yeah.
And they're just like reacting to him, and it works because like in the thing you're just like, oh, this just feels like a very warm thing. Because she's like, oh, I'll make you dinner. He's like, no, go to bed. She's like, I can't. And then all of a sudden it cuts a table full of food, and they're just eating it, and I just think it really adds to it. And another fun fact, I guess, Robert De Niro, he researched his character, the real life person, so much that he even down to the way he like did his ketchup thing. Because when I was a kid, I always saw him like do the ketchup like this
I did see
instead of going like that, like I've done for my entire life.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, because I researched it, and that's like how he had to like look into the people he knew and everything. and that's how he did it. And so I was just like, because I noticed it, I was like, that's a really weird way of doing it.
I thought it was just because of the bottle type, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was just like a 50s or
Yeah, I know.
70s thing, whatever.
Another fun fact.
Oh boy,
I'll give you one for yours.
oh thank you. We'll start a little.
Yeah.
Fun.
What happened? I saw that Scorsese, he tied everyone's tie because I guess that was like his attention to detail type of thing.
I wish it would tie my tie.
Man, you can get Kelly.
I'd rather have Mark.
Kelly's the news director. What's she do? The news
Yeah, she's the
news director at WIU. You want to play the game?
We could, yes, we could.
So-
play the game.
We're very inconsistent with this game.
Okay.
To a fault.
Yeah, we do it when we remember. We remember right now, and so I'll ask a random movie. You have to say the year.
Okay.
Keep in mind, don't feel bad if you get it wrong because I suck. We only play because he's good at it, so he shows me up every week.
Okay, let's see.
Well, whenever we remember. So I will do, since we're on the topic of mafia movies,
Oh boy.
I'm sure you're gonna get this one. This one, it's somewhat recent. What year did the movie Hugo come out?
We just yell it out.
Yeah.
2012.
12.
I have 2011. For the Hugo, like the kid movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
12. Final answer.
Sure.
2011.
Yeah. Woo. I got very like.
I thought I was stumped because you don't watch like fantasy stuff.
Nah, not usually, but I can't explain it, Cam. I can't explain it. It's just how I am.
This rhythm.
I guess in terms of mob movies, what year was? Oh, geez, I actually have to look this up. I'll look this up because I am a little wavering on this one. But I'll give it to you.
Now, do you have a random movie?
I have it there. Sorry. What year was another Martin Scorsese movie? One of his, I think his first.
No, don't say that. I know what you're gonna say.
Mean Streets.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I think
73.
I was gonna.
Okay, final answer.
I was gonna say 73 too. I'll go 70, 72. I know it's.
Final answer.
I want to say 73 as well. I think it's 73.
Yes, I don't know.
say
It
73
sounds right.
73 does sound right. I'll go. 73 was the first number. I'll go 73.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Might be 75. I don't know.
All right, you guys are right.
Yes.
You guys are right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you got a movie?
Yeah, you got a movie.
I'm struggling right now. Let me think. I got one. American Gangster.
Ooh, that's Denzel.
Do you want me to say what I think it is?
No.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna go off of you.
Okay. Well, then you saying though.
I'm gonna go 2001.
I'm gonna say 2000. That's my final answer.
Final answer.
You said 2000?
Yeah. Don't say like you were 1 year.
Yeah, I know, but I want to get it right. I'll go 2001.
Both of you guys are wrong.
What?
Close.
What?
I think you guys are thinking of Training Day. Training Day came out
Yeah.
2001. American Gangster 2007.
7?
Really?
That does sound that. Yeah, I got it messed up.
You got American Psycho.
American Psycho 2001.
I
Or
thought
is that 2000? It might be 2000. I get
American Psycho 2000.
2000, I think.
Oh,
Jeez. All these
wrong.
American movies, they just all get all.
we're all messed
Whatever.
up.
Dang, I guess I was wrong.
Man, you stumped him.
You stumped me.
I got him.
I think he's only been stumped twice.
Well, we're done. we'll have to stop the podcast.
He's only been stumped twice. We had another guest last
Yeah.
semester. Man.
It was all because it was movies that I think only 17 people have watched until.
Yeah, he picked like the most random stuff no one's ever heard of.
But congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm glad we actually remembered to do it because we always forget to do it.
I've abused those buttons this episode.
Yeah, they're worn out.
But,
But anyway, back to Goodfellas.
yeah.
So, Niall, do you have any final thoughts about the movie? Anything that we missed?
Final thoughts. I think the movie was. I think it was a really good movie. I think it set the pace for my movie. Not set the pace because I know Godfather really came out 15 years before or whatever. But I think it really kind of gave a new way to do the mob movies because it was more like, I know Godfather's more like serious,
Yeah.
less comical and stuff. But I think this movie had different elements to it that was like, here's a different way you can make a mob movie.
Mhm.
So then came Casino. I don't know if it was the difference of directors, but I think it was an interesting way of how to portray the life, and I like how it showed the rise and the fall and everything. I like the big time actors that were in it, and it showed you. It had a lot of messages in it, I think, as well. So I think it was great.
What would you give it out of 5 stars?
Out of 5, Goodfellas. I'm gonna give it a 4.8.
4.8. Okay.
I think it's a classic.
Where's the point 2?
That's tough. I don't know, because I give my favorite movie a 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
My 2 favorite movies, which is Ali and American Gangster. That's why.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's why. Yeah. So I'll give those 5s. I can't give them all 5, so I give it 4.8. It's pretty high on my list.
Gotcha. What would you give it out of 5 stars?
I give it a 4.
4?
So I don't know. For some reason, nothing can beat Irishman for me. I think because I was the first one to set it off for me.
I thought the Irishman was boring.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
It was long.
It was, but that's kind of kicked it off for me. Goodfellas was good, but I don't know. I don't think it's Scorsese's best for some reason. Like it's high on his list, but I don't think it's his best.
Dang.
I'm not saying that The Irishman is his best.
But his best mob movie or best movie in general?
Best mob movie.
Because I would say his best movie is probably either this or Shutter Island.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Shutter.
I'd say that movie Behind You was pretty tough too.
Yeah. Oh,
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Man, that
I
was.
forgot about that one. That's not really a mob movie, but for some reason, I always feel like it is just because of like the excess of drugs and everything.
It's kind of like similar type. It's kind of
More
kind of like
business.
Goodfellas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the business side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I liked it.
I think Scorsese, that movie Wolf of Wall Street, and it got Margot Robbie her big break and
Yeah. Margot Robbie
Yeah.
was.
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5.
Like I said, it's one of those movies that like if it's on, I could literally watch it like 3 times over, like and not like get bored. I think it's just the way the storytelling like keeps it well paced, keeps you entertained the whole time. There's so many big actors, or even actors that weren't even big at the time,
Right.
that just put it on another pedestal for me.
like Christopher Moltisanti. That
Yes,
Yeah.
because you can just watch all these movies and you're like, oh, he starred in that, and he had like 2 lines, but
right.
he had like a memorable death in it. So I think it's a really cool movie. I think it's probably like I said, it's probably his best, and then Shutter Island, and then Wolf of Wall Street. But I mean, when you're that good of a director,
You can't go wrong with any.
yeah.
If you say anything, it's
If
acceptable.
you say Mean Streets, then that's where I'm like, okay, I don't know.
What about Taxi Driver?
That's good too.
That's Scorsese too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So is
Yeah.
Raging Bull?
Raging
Yes,
Bull is
that was shot in black and white because Rocky came out,
So you wanted to like make it a little different.
make it look different.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wanted to watch Raging Bull, but I watched the first 5 minutes expecting it to go into color.
Nah,
Just
man.
black and white the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good though. It's a good watch. Have you guys seen?
I have not seen it in a long time. I have very vague memories of it.
I like boxing movies, so I'd recommend it. But it has been a while since I've
Say
seen it
black and white. Why is it black and white?
because Rocky came out at the same
They
time.
want to rival it a little bit.
Yeah, and he wanted to do something different with it. But
Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
It's 80. Oh man's birthday's coming up.
Oh, it is. We'll have to get him on so we can celebrate it. You think Martin Scorsese will come by Eastern?
Yeah, I'm sure he has any reason to come to Charleston, Illinois.
For sure.
I'm sure he's doing a lot better things now with his new movie out. I think he's got a little more fish to fry than this. But yeah, that has been the Goodfellas episode for the Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. Thank you, Nile, for joining us. It's been a really good episode. Getting to hear your thoughts about the movie.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you. This was fun. I've never done anything like this before, so it was a cool opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a great time. Really awesome episode. Thank you so much. That's been the episode of Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Drew,
I'm Cam.
And I'm not.
and we will see you next week with a new movie. See ya.
See you.